Greetings, everybody. Welcome to Children of Rath, the D&D meets Magic the Gathering live stream RPG show where we are playing some Dungeons & Dragons in the Magic the Gathering world of Dominaria. Of course, if you are new to or just joining us, missed things, etc., our amazing group of adventurers here have been exploring under the employment of an elf named Nim, and this has taken them to the back of a Leviathan named Slim Voda, deep under the sea, where there happens to be a merfolk city. And last episode, they got temporarily employed by a ambassador. At least one of them did. And the rest of them basically enjoyed a, exotic dancer show.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That was fun.
Yeah.
And weird.
Maxwell made a new friend, and a bunch of them are now going off to the seedy underbelly of the place that they've learned about the location of. Even seedier underbelly than they were expecting. So that's where we left off previously. Why don't we go around and have people say kind of how their characters are doing with everything, etc., give a little introduction to them. Let's do our color wheel from Magic as normal and start with Lindsay and Wintress.
So, Wintress had a fun time at the club, and she was just chilling out. She talked to a strange man who was nice-ish to her. She thinks they're friends now. Apparently she's just gonna go follow her friend in arms, Carrie, to the seedy belly. For no reason other than to say she did.
I mean, sometimes that's all the reason you need. Joe, how are you and Claud doing?
Time to find a prostitute.
I mean, you're hitting the nail on the head on that one, but...
So he'll be doing fine soon.
Uh-huh. Lee, how's Maxwell doing?
Max is doing good. I don't really know what direction Max is going to take this whole quote-unquote date thing, but me as a player isn't really expecting much given the lack of appendages. But you know how that is. Oh, and nerve endings too. Forgot about those.
Yeah,
that's my saving grace last game.
Mm-hmm. Of course, we have Fish and Kazran.
Hey. It's a little weird for Kaz. He just invented this cool underwater thing, so that's great, and it's working great. Unfortunately, the drinks are terrible.
Yeah, it was like sludge, wasn't it?
Yeah, salty. It was Marmite.
Uh-huh.
Also, I struck out last time, and that was kind of bad.
It's alcoholic Marmite.
Oh, God. I have to tell my roommate about that. He likes Marmite. But Kaz is having a weird time of it.
Mm-hmm. And of course, we end up with our last character, Mads, as Carrion.
Listen, on one hand, underwater, hate it. On another hand, really, really hot fish lady. And on another hand, drugs.
How do you have 3 hands?
One of them's the tail.
Yeah. Or I just use Wintress's. But anyway.
I mean,
like,
she won't stop you from doing that, probably.
It's just like, there's some good, there's one really, really, really bad. So it's a mixed bag.
Good times, good times. So, I guess 4 of you are going off to the seedy underbelly together, and Max is being kept on his own, or were any of you not going off to the seedy underbelly? I cannot recall from last time. But you can change your plans now.
I thought someone was going with me.
I thought Kazran was going, no?
Yeah, I think Kaz would probably go. He's not in the mood for too much seedy underbelly thing. Normally, Kaz would be all for going to the seedy underbelly of thing. So Kaz will join for a little bit, unless it becomes like a weird third wheeling thing.
She said that, like, she could go on a little tour, and if things want to become a little bit more private later on...
Oh, yeah, wasn't Nim... Didn't Nim want to join them, too?
No, Radiant was coming along.
Oh yeah.
Nim wasn't with you.
Oh, okay.
What was he up to?
Hotel.
Reading in the hotel, as far as you know.
Oh, right, because he has an asshole friend at the hotel. Friend.
Yes.
He has friends everywhere.
When you're very old and travel around a lot, you make a lot of friends. Or enemies. Or both. Or frenemies. Because it's always good to have a couple of frenemies. Alright. So, we have two groups. And why don't we focus first on Kaz, Radiant, and Maxwell, as they are going for a short tour of Slinvoda's back. The tour will not be a bad one. You'll kind of go around and check out some of the probably more popular areas of town. You'll see kind of where the main buildings are, these large structures built into the spines and what they are. You know, you recognize, of course, the one that's pointed out, which is the one you're staying at, which has some diplomatic quarters and places where officials and visitors stay at very often. So it turns out not just you ambassador types stay there, but a lot of the people that are coming in to visit Slinvoda from various other places within the Empire stay there. Of course, there's a lot of the kind of houses where the citizens are. And it turns out there's a large group of areas where soldiers kind of travel around. You get a sense, all three of you that are there. Well, Radiant's an NPC, so I mean, I don't really have to include her. But anyway, at least the two of you that are PCs definitely get a sense that there is a heavy military presence on the back of the Leviathan. That it seems like most of the community here is effectively here to support them, more than to be an active community on their own. Okay.
Alright.
I think someone got an infinity cow.
You're not wrong.
Mm-hmm. There'll be a couple nice places, like actually some kind of art museum. You'll be taken by. She's basically pointing some things out. And there'll also be a couple other places that seem very interesting, where the craftsmen and stuff live, stores and things like that. There seems to be like a multi-floored shopping kind of place where a lot of craftsmen on different floors have little shopping areas, almost like a open-aired market, but built into one of these spines. She mentions that like a lot of merfolk villages and cities will have kind of market areas where folks will set up stalls, but because of the currents, because of the movement, they had to build them into things. So the shopping mall was invented by merfolk because of high currents living on the back of Leviathan. There you go.
Yeah.
So they created a shopping mall.
Yes, because of necessity rather than planning. And lo was the mall invented by merfolk, who will go down in history for such an invention. She'll kind of like lead you to a bunch of interesting places, and towards the end though, she'll be like, she'll kind of have you meet at like a little cross section of where like you have one of the main slices across the back of the creature versus like a long through the back. You do get the sense that there is not like a lot of like the roads themselves aren't straight because they're following the natural contours of a animal's back. Now this back of this animal is, you know, insanely sized, but still. But there's like a little setup here of a bunch of like statues and some kind of like coral garden almost, where there's these lights with glowing, like looks like little shrimp in them again.
I do want to eat those shrimp. I've been told not to.
Mm-hmm. These seem less like they're gonna get you killed at least this point in time because you're already in the water.
That's true. I still think the police might not be happy with me breaking a light.
There are lots and lots of soldiers around.
Yeah.
Who knows? You might end up glowing.
I would compare this to like I can't remember its name. Norfolk in Virginia. It's a city all about the military base. You know, the Navy base.
Oh, okay. No, I get exactly. I know what you mean. Yeah, I know what you mean.
And
So we
that's
gotta be on caution then.
Well, yeah, because it's basically the entire city here supports a military infrastructure. Because this is like the ultimate weapon of the Vodalian Empire. Of course, they have it like armed to the tooth with merfolk soldiers on its back on the city.
So we're probably safer here than like anywhere else, right?
Oh yeah, as long as you're on the good side of the Empire.
Right, yeah. Well, I was thinking more on like the crime side.
Yeah, like there
Okay.
are places where there is the seedy underbelly. It's kind of hard to find, and oftentimes maybe it's looked away. Like things are kind of turned away from because soldiers like it or something. So
Okay.
there might be.
And we're
reasons...
just. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, yeah, it's okay. There might be reasons why certain things are gotten away with.
Question. Is the seedy underbelly under the belly of the Leviathan?
You don't know. It could be.
So we're just like strolling this place.
Yeah, I would call this like a kind of gardening area now. That she's kind of like this is like the last place. And it's like, and here's one of my favorite places on the back of the beast.
It's lovely. It seems very peaceful here.
Yeah. You know, I was raised here. My father was a knight in the Vodalian army. My mother, well, she just worked at some of the businesses around here. And since they both passed away, I found it, you know, I just couldn't leave the place.
Oh. Well.
I did want to see the sights one day, though.
Yeah. I mean, it's all about making the most of the time we have, you know?
I know my kind isn't very good outside of the water, but we make do. I always thought of seeing the surface world. What's the surface world like, Maxwell?
Well, it's very dependent on where you go. It can be as lovely as an underwater garden, or it can be as dangerous as a booming mountainous volcano. And take this from someone who's walked to, or who's been to somewhere like that.
You have such nice friends, too. I thank you for joining us, Kaz, Radiant. The two of you were wonderful, too.
It was a pleasure to meet you. And pleasure to spend the evening as well.
So, I guess since you're technically an air breather, are you staying at the diplomatic quarters?
Yes. Yes, we are.
How do you like it there?
It's alright. As it compares to the journey we took to get down there, it's wonderful. But that's because we were stuck in essentially a metal box, very close quarters, for a few weeks.
We grew sick of each other's company fairly quick, stuff is to say.
Yeah.
I thought everything was fine.
Radiant, you just...
I
Damn
mean,
you and your positivity.
Well, it's not really positivity. It's just that, you know, there's good and bad about everything, and it's best not to look at the bad parts of it.
I think that's the definition of positivity.
Okay, fine.
It's great. It's a wonderful
fair,
quality.
Her perception is pretty good. I mean, given all the tough times we've been in recent months, I think being cramped up together is probably one of the least bad things that's happened.
Yeah, that's fair. On the plus side, we get to see this absolutely stunning city. This is essentially the polar opposite of how I grew up. It is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous.
Oh,
Tula, is there any semblance of like a Pictobox kind of thing in this place? Does that exist in the Magic universe?
no, not Not really, I don't think. There might be specific types of magic that could create, like, illusionary versions of something, but paintings are usually the way to go.
Oh, I can do that.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
I can make one. It's like
What,
that
of,
same
like, the
thing.
scene?
It's that same thing I did to like make your mask look like something.
But I want to preserve it like a picture, you know?
Yeah, I need like a small plate essentially, and then I can put any image on it. So I could basically take a picture.
Seems
Yeah.
very tempting. Part of me wants to remember this.
Why am I thinking the Flintstones
I don't know.
with the like? There's like a bird or something that pecks a picture in the camera.
I do know now.
You need like a little. You need like a little imp inside a box. That
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Quickly
And then they do
carved
that.
out.
That's a living.
That's a reference. I mean, we don't get like paintings like you do at the surface. We can. There are things akin to your surface paints, but usually they are very hard to use. Our artists are very exacting. Most of the time, sculpting, especially magic sculpting or natural sculpting, like there are a couple of artists that specialize in things like these coral sculptures. You know that these sculptures are actually alive, and it took the artist maybe decades to make these. They'll oftentimes work on a number of their pieces of art, but they're also very expensive if you like want to get one. That's why the city put them here in this little garden, because it's a little place that makes us feel like we're not on the back of a giant beast.
Well, we have somewhat of an alternative to that if we happen to have the proper supplies. Kazarin, what do we need for this to happen?
Literally just since we're underwater, it would be best to have like a flat stone even would be enough.
There's a shop that... Come on. Oh, why don't we go to this little place over here? I think it sells some little souvenir kind of things for visitors to the back of Slinvoda.
Lead the way.
You know that the buildings here are actually constantly growing, so that there are actually some workers that have to chip away at the spines to ensure that they don't overgrow. Now, it's very slow, so it doesn't take a lot of work, but the excess material is oftentimes used to make different things. It can be used to make armor, weapons sometimes, but the best thing is that if someone wants, those of us that visit, well, we can provide for. And she's going to go to like a little, probably like a little knick-knack stand of things that seem to be made out of the material that the buildings here are made out of. Creature
Cool.
spine. Some of them are little statues. Do you have any kind of, like an eating plate or something with a special design? The man will kind of this is like a merfolk man. He looks like kind of a little older. He's just got enough human that it looks like a little bit of facial stubble comes in. You know, it's like merfolk can sometimes get facial hair. You know, usually the ones that are a little bit more human tend to get that.
Would it be like algae that they get?
No,
It
looks
could be like catfish barbells.
Some of them do that, like the more fishy ones, but the more human ones will actually have some kind of hair, but it's like a coarser hair. So, so from afar it looks kind of like normal hair, but if you'd feel it, it'd feel like a little bit more like tougher. So it's like thicker, bigger. I believe I have something. He's just gonna bring out. I hadn't finished working on this piece here, because he looks like he was carving some things, you know, to put on display already. It looks like a big piece of scale, like a big flat piece of scale. It looks like he'd been shaping it into something, but he hadn't gotten very far at it.
This would be perfect, actually.
It's unworked, so I could probably let it go for 10 gold for the material. It's not cheap, but
10 gold.
10 gold. I don't suppose you have an out-of-towner discount, do you, good sir?
That is the I would normally have an in-towner discount. As he kind of looks to Latula. I think I could go for 9 since you got friends in town here.
Do you have a smaller plate that could possibly be serviced for around possibly 2 gold? We don't need something large. We just need something small.
He's gonna take some tools and he's gonna break off a piece of it then and be like, I think I could go this piece here go for 2. It's a pretty small piece, probably like this big.
Yeah. I can do that. I can work with that.
I mean, yeah, that's like enough for like a small photo.
It's like getting like a Polaroid kind of, except it's really hard.
Yeah, that would be perfect.
Except it's made from like Leviathan scale.
That's fine.
At least how much dosh I got.
I mean, technically speaking, you could have used some and reimbursed from a certain Claud who has a certain pile of, money still.
Yeah, but I don't want to like use from that unless it's like something actually helpful. This is like an aesthetic thing, This is more like fun. I'll I kind of look at everyone. I'll see like, you guys want to chip in for this?
Yeah, that's fine. How much is this?
2 gold. I'll chip in a gold.
Yeah, I'll chip in the gold.
Okay.
Perfect. Pleasure doing business with you, sir. I hand the plate to Carrion.
All right. I take out a screwdriver. And I walk out and I just hold it up essentially so I know what I'm doing. And then I just tap with the screwdriver and a picture just appears on the thing.
Okay.
Ooh. Is it us posing?
Do you want it to be you posing?
I want it to be all of us.
All of us? Yeah, I can do that. It doesn't say I can't.
Yeah.
Perfect.
The only limitation for this particular part of the effect is that if it's text, it can only be up to 25 words. Beyond that, there's not really limitations. It also lasts essentially forever.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. We only need visuals for this.
Yeah.
And I kind of like walk up to you as you're doing that and say like, should we keep this or should we give it to Atula to remember?
The only thing is, you would probably have to do something else to make it, remove it from your own magical abilities and permanency it. This is the only thing I have to say, because normally you can only have a number of these effects going equal to your intelligence modifier.
Yeah. I already have one. I had one consistently ongoing, and it was that old egg that you had and sold to a Minotaur.
I forgot you tweaked that.
I'm going to turn that off. So that Minotaur, here's the thing. That Minotaur's going to be mad as fuck at us.
But it's been like weeks.
He's not going to remember this.
Yeah, actually, it's been months at this point in time. He might even remember where he got it.
All he knows is that weird glowing egg has stopped glowing. So, I have that. Your mask currently looks like a fish.
Hi.
So I have 2 ongoing.
Cool.
Killed the egg.
Don't hit this.
I didn't.
You did. Anyway.
Stream news.
I know.
Mystery news.
I am. Because what you did and when you hit that thing accidentally, it caused it to slow everything down temporarily.
Weirdo.
Go. Don't let me get angry at you again. Like last time. You were bad on Tuesday.
It's not Tuesday.
It's Thursday now.
Get told.
You're crazy.
Yep.
Here's your
So
glass.
is she.
She's adorable.
Aren't we all?
Yes. She's adorably crazy.
Now. Go.
She's been very misbehaved because I guess she's got that cabin fever.
I can't blame her,
Don't we all?
honestly. I'd probably like throw things at the wall after a point.
And I've been doing schoolwork.
Continue speaking amongst yourselves for a second.
I'm thinking, should we give
remember,
this to
I
her
got-
as a souvenir?
And
Well,
by the way,
here's the
remember, guys, I did have the payday yesterday, or last week, last session too.
Oh, that's true.
Wait,
That's
how much
what
did you
we're-
get?
5 platinum,
How did you get that?
which is 50 gold. Yeah.
God, man.
But I'm not
there
gonna-
haven't been any opportunities for me to play my music for money.
But I'm down to 30 gold because I spent 20 on the lab kits.
That's fair. Are you gonna share that platinum, or is that the group fund?
Well, yeah, we have a group fund too,
Okay.
and that I offered people drinks. No one wanted drinks.
I want to save that for like maybe a potion or something. I don't know. I could save our lives.
We're going out and getting drugs at hose, so
Yeah. But
That
also, like,
platinum-
remember, a lot of us couldn't get the drinks.
Right.
By a lot of
of
us,
the
I mean
mask.
2 of us.
yes.
Also, that 5 platinum will get you maybe 1 health potion.
Yeah.
Yeesh.
Don't you mean 4 platinum?
4 platinum.
Is it really that much?
Yeah, it's 40 gold. It's
No,
40 gold.
no, it's 50,
No,
but you spent,
yeah, it's
spent
50.
platinum.
We're not right. No, but
Christ.
yeah, it's 50 gold for a potion, a health potion.
Mm-hmm. Permanent magic items are expensive. That's why I'm saying, like, Kaz would either have to take time, effort, or money in order to make this separated from him at this point in time. Yes, now he doesn't have the egg going, so he's okay with not getting rid of this one.
If I need to, I can also end the fish aesthetic going on with Max's mask.
Oh yeah, you're still doing that. You can end that.
All right, I tap your face with the screwdriver.
Doink.
So now I just have the 1. And when I eventually upgrade my stats again, then I'll be able to get another one because I'm gonna keep upgrading my intelligence.
Well, I'm just saying, like, if you wanted to do more of these things, kind of like picture
Yeah.
things, you could
Yeah.
figure out.
That's true.
He invents food.
I mean, knowing us, the
I
picture
mean,
will
like-
last for a few months while we're traveling over the ocean. Right?
I mean,
How
like,
about that?
I could say, like, you could probably, because this is not nearly as powerful as, like, a
Well-
cure potion. Maybe, like, find 10 gold worth, like, magical stuff if you wanted to, like, make a permanent photograph kind of thing. You know, like, just some, like, basic stuff for enchantment. It's like cantrip level stuff, you know? Except
Yeah.
it's, like, magical class ability. So I'm saying,
or
like, for
or
cheap.
you pay an artisan to copy it into you know, use it as a template to make an actual detailed carving or something.
Right.
Those are options.
All right. So yeah, you do that. Can I give it to her?
Sure.
What?
It might go away at some point.
The ink for it is only lasts so long, Otula. It's one of those things we have to cherish while we have it, like our memories.
Oh.
Yes.
Well, I mean, maybe if I have a chance to, if I ever traveling, would you accompany me?
You mean like on the surface or here?
Yeah. If I ever find an excuse to go out there. And
Oh, absolutely. You're welcome to hang with any of us.
That's wonderful. Maybe I'll even visit you at the ambassadorial place.
That would be fun. I like to think that our ambassador service is fairly welcoming.
Well, I'll head home now. Yeah. You're an interesting fellow, Max. You really are. I mean, like, I'm always find things because I'm a little bit exotic. There aren't many like me down here. Most if you see take after tropical fish, but I'm more like a shark or an eel. Predator. Harkens back to something more ancient in our blood, I guess.
I'm trying to think of something to say that doesn't sound like Barney.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
And you seem similar. You're something ancient and dangerous, yet kind-hearted. And you've got some great friends.
thanks. It's an honor to hear that. I guess we are cut from the same kind of cloth.
Well, I'm going to head home. maybe I'll stop by and meet you again for some point, as long as you're in the area for a while.
Sounds good. And yeah, we'll be around for. I look at Catherine. How long are we staying?
We paid for several months.
we may be around for that long, but as long as we're here, the doors are open for your company.
You'll have to tell me more stories of the surface.
Oh, I'd love to. We have plenty with our traveling party. I don't know if I went into full detail about the dragon, but I'll definitely go into that next time.
She'll part ways with you and head home.
I wave.
She seemed nice.
Yeah, she seemed very positive. It was a fun stroll around town. I'm glad she got along with all of us.
So, is Claude actually her grandfather?
I kind of chuckle a bit, and I kind of say, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if one of the many forms of his could be her grandfather.
That's
at least
weird.
after this point.
I mean, that's kind of strange. You don't remember that kind of thing. I don't remember a lot of my, like, formation, but that's just, you know, when you spontaneously come into being, I guess that doesn't help.
Yeah, it's not really much better for us people that were artificially tampered with either.
Cass,
But-
how are things like with you?
No.
I have a very good memory. I need to have a good memory. I make a lot of decisions that aren't always great. So I remember those to not fuck up as badly again. Also, having a good memory is useful when you repair ships. Some ships tend to break in very similar ways to each other. If you know how one broke, you can fix it on the next.
I have to think that something happened involving poison in my previous existence, or where some of my energy came from. Because the reason that I studied alchemy was because I know how to make poisons, just instinctually. Which is very unusual for one of my kind. We don't normally sink to underhanded things like that. That's why I think maybe the angels that died there could have been poisoned. Something more so powerful it could poison an angel. I wouldn't put it beyond the horrors that apparently the stories of Phyrexia are. The weapons they brought. A lot of it's tainting Urborg even now.
I can imagine.
I shudder to think of the type of poison that can kill an angel.
It's a strange thing. I guess we're all a little strange. But that's okay. That's why we work well together.
Exactly. Together we stand strong.
Let's head back. I wonder how the others are doing.
I can only assume they're on to some wild adventures.
Smash cut.
Smash cut.
I
You guys are buying
I
drugs now,
those
right?
Star cuts
Yes.
where it's like a
And
star.
A star wipe.
Yeah, star white.
She can
Remember
have
you're
all the
having like a
drugs. I
wholesome
don't
adventure
Oh, a
through the
shooting
park.
star white.
Yeah. Yeah, you're having like a
Yeah,
whole,
you're having a sweet date, and
you know.
we're
And then drugs
Do
and
another.
hookers.
Yeah, I'm glad that of all the people that Otula met, she met like the chill ones. You know? Well, Claude is cool. I'm kind of sad that he didn't come along. So.
The chill ones in Kazran.
Why is Claude
Yes,
going to the
Andy.
CD underbelly again? Remind me.
because Claude has been messed up in his head a lot, and he just wants to get out of it.
Okay, well, I can't really blame him. I'd probably need something to distract from the pain, I guess.
Claude got worse.
voice.
Yeah.
I just want drugs.
Drugs won't
Is that
help
what
me.
she always wants?
Unfortunately, drugs
Bye.
probably not. I'm resistant to poison.
So you just need a lot.
Resistance
Instead
isn't
of taking
immune.
some cocaine,
I
take a
know.
lot
I'm
of
just
cocaine.
saying.
A metric acid. last ton of it.
Is that different than a regular metric ton?
Yes.
Yes.
One is just an actual ton. The other is the amount that the drug mule would have tried to shove up there. Well, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
A literal drug mule.
Yes. Which is kind of odd because mules, they're not very, they're stubborn. You just don't really want to,
Yes, they are.
you just don't, God. Why are we going to this conversation? I stopped myself.
That's the next story beat. All right, anyway.
Okay, there's a mule down here with drugs in its bum.
It's like a seahorse, but it's a sea mule.
God. So, yeah, the directions you'll give you will take you towards the back, towards the tail end of Slim Voda.
It's not the belly. Got it.
Ah, beans.
Kind of get into an area where, like, the scales and the back kind of spines kind of start to fade away back into the flesh. So there's a lot smaller buildings here. They seem like places that there isn't as many, like, families or businesses around. Things just seem to be, like, just some people kind of shoved into probably cheap homes, I would say. So a little probably would be described as the poorer section of town, even though it's still not bad. Like, you don't feel like it's like you would see like a slum in a large city. That's definitely got its own feelings that are probably, even encountered in your good old fantasy cities, good old fantasy slums. This will take you towards kind of the edge of the spines, where you can see that there seems to be a number of interesting looking tents. There seems to be this kind of small, like, almost tent city set up, where you can see, like, there's these, like, large hooks that are kind of like literally hammered into the skin of the beast. But when you've got skin that's, like, a couple feet thick, you're not gonna notice, like, a couple inches of spike into it.
It's a piercing.
Not even that.
It's like when you get one of those, like, tiny, like, dog hairs stuck in your skin and you feel it a little bit, but not really. And then you pull it out, you're like, oh.
You get dog hair stuck in you?
Yeah. It hurts.
I'm fortunate that I don't have enough encounters with dogs for this to happen.
What are dogs?
My parents have an ungodly
They're
amount.
annoying cats.
No.
No, they're good boys.
My parents have a total of 7 dogs.
I have 2 dogs and 3 cats right now.
Okay, we're tracking again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When do we not track?
Anyway, so there seems to be, like, all kinds of businesses going on here. There's some people that seem to be staying out here in the tents. Small little, like, shops set up, like, little places, like, selling all kinds of food. You can actually feel a little bit more of the movement of the beast at this point in time. Like, you can actually kind of, like, look off in the distance, and you can see the undulation of the tail. But it's, like, freaking forever away. It's, like, half a mile away. You can see, like, the tail, like, moving kind of thing. It's insane.
That's where the slums are. No one wants to be stuck on the tail.
I mean, you'll be flung off by the forces at that point in time. And very dead. Anyway, you heard tale. This is the area for you to find the things you're looking for.
Well, I'm keeping my eyes open for what I'm looking for.
I am also keeping my eyes out for what I'm looking for.
Those of you that are looking for things, please make investigation checks.
Oh, that's the wrong one.
I'm looking
Well,
at
that'll be
Carrion.
fun.
I'm not finding anything.
No.
I find less.
Wow. You are both very bad at finding anything around here.
Plus 0.
Mm-hmm. And you rolled a 2.
I did not roll a 0.
We have a 2 and a 3 as our rolls. So yeah, both of you are just finding nada. if there's supposed to be something here, it's either well hidden or you're just not understanding the signs. You know, like, Carrion...
Can I make an insight check?
Sure.
God damn, I roll crap still.
I'm gonna give you this much. You are definitely getting a lot of eyes on you.
Yeah, that makes
Why are
sense.
we?
People are
So
taking
why are we
note of
down
you
here?
here.
Goodberry, we're here for drugs and hookers.
Where are they?
I don't know. We're having trouble finding them.
And we're kind of being conspicuous.
Well, I'm being conspicuous given the fact
wanna
that, you know, the
look.
horns.
I want to look.
Okay. Go ahead
What
and roll.
does my precious eyes see?
We'll find out what your precious eyes see with your investigation check.
She sees it all.
Okay. So, Winthrus, I will let you know the following bits of information. Yes, there seems to be definitely things going on here. You seem to get a hold that there is a definite number of folks that are probably good for staying a night with. You know, they seem to be in places where it looks like they're selling actual stuff, but you get the feeling that sometimes they'll move into the tents they're selling at with visitors. So you figure out that, like, there is this front of legitimate business to everyone that's basically selling themselves like that. You also notice there seems to be, like, an interesting population of individuals here that you didn't see in the city. There seems to be what look to be, like, a group of sort of humanish looking merfolk, except instead of tails, they have, like, legs.
The reverse fish people?
No.
They have fish heads and human legs.
No, I never said their heads were different, Joe. You switched them. No.
Oh no!
Reverse merfolk.
Not that episode of SpongeBob, please.
Yes, the answer is no to that one. You also have seen a couple of people that seem to be selling medicinals.
Huh. Well,
Which, with your insight, I'll tell you, like, you've been around Carrion enough that sometimes people will call... That's like a term for, like, for drugs.
Been around Carrie enough. You know that this is a term for drugs.
You've learned from Carrie.
Carrie,
Yes, Goodberry.
you said you were having trouble finding people?
Yes.
Look behind you.
You know, I was still kind of thinking about that really pretty fish lady, but I'm glad we brought you, Goodberry. I'm gonna go buy some drugs.
I point out, like, there's that one right there. There's that one over there. There's that one too.
They're all around us.
Kind of. They kind of subtly are. It's like everything is very subtle. Because a lot of them, like the places that have medicinal things, look like they have some actual things which are probably medical. So you would just pass it off as maybe like an apothecary if you're not careful. But there's like, it's everything that's very like seedy about this isn't very open. It's very subtle.
Secretively seedy.
Yes.
And what were you looking for, Joe? Not Joe.
Claude.
Claude.
What are
Claude?
you
Is that
looking
your
for, Joe?
A good
this
time.
This spirit comes down. It's like, I was looking for this.
I was looking for a good time.
Why the hell is there a ghost here now?
Claude, you were looking for something too, right?
A good time.
Well, there are people walking in and out of all the tents. Maybe you should ask someone. That's all I can give you. I know what Carrie wants. I don't know what you want.
He wants to sleep with a prostitute.
I don't know. I haven't done that, Carrie. I don't know.
I'm
I don't know
trying
what
to
that
explain
means.
it to you. He just wants to sleep with a nice lady who he pays.
I know that, Carrie. I haven't gone through that before. Okay, I'm not you, Carrie. I don't know.
You wanna go? You wanna go sleep with a woman or a man or a
Not
fish?
particularly, Carrie.
Man, woman,
What
or
about a
fish.
crab?
Or fish. just fish. I think that's the only option at the moment is fish.
I mean, they're fish people. But I'm gonna go buy some drugs.
The classic.
Yeah, I don't know if the regular humanoids in our group have the capability.
What was it?
I am a fish person right now.
I want to talk to one of the random vendors.
Okay. Hello, can I get you anything?
Yeah, sure. What you got?
As you can see, you're just a random vendor.
Yeah, preferably the one farthest from Claud.
Okay. Are you going, like, what type of vendor? Like medicinals or just a random vendor, entirely random?
I'll stay away from the ones that Carrie is likely to go to because I'll probably mess up somehow. So I'll go to one that is not this.
Well, I think he's trying to say, like, what kind of wares are you looking for?
Yeah.
No, he was asking what kind of vendor.
I also implied what kind of wares are you looking at. Yes.
I'm not a Khajiit, okay? Is there one with, like, I don't know, little trinkets? Just like
sure.
baubles.
Yeah. You want little gifts, yes.
Oh, cool.
What's
What's he got?
They look like decorated pieces of coral. Like they've been like shaped into things.
Carl?
Coral.
Man, the return of Carl.
Coral.
Stop decorating Carl.
Carl. I keep saying it in
Carl.
a bad way, and then I have to like pronunciate it better for you guys. Jeez. Coral.
Corrals?
Ah, God. Now you're just being dumb.
Yes.
Is there like a blue one?
Sure.
I want the blue one. How much is the blue one?
Because she's blue. Abadi, abadai.
5 silver for you. Beautiful
Oh.
traveler.
Oh, thank you. I'll give him 6 silver.
You're welcome.
'Cause
Here
he's
is your
nice.
gift. Yes. Leisure for business, beautiful one.
Oh, thank you. I hope you have a good day, mister. I'm gonna take my little coral and look at it while I wait for my friends to friend.
Okay, Carrion. There are plenty of medicinal sellers around. He's gonna choose a random one, or like, what are you gonna do here?
Well, Wintress pointed out a few to me, so I'm definitely going to go with one of those so I don't just go up to a plain apothecary and is like, hey, do you have drugs?
Carrie, real quick.
Yes.
I'll split what I have with you right now. All I ask is you bring change back if you have any left.
I'm not going to buy
'Cause-
that much
Oh.
drugs.
I'm just saying because that way, because we do still want to let other people have some money.
Well, yeah, I'm not going to buy that much.
But
drugs.
here's 15 gold.
Thank you. Just gonna put that in a different place for now, so I know exactly how much. I don't know. I'll go up to one of the ones that Wintress pointed out. Just be like, "These are some good wares, but I'm looking for something a little bit heavier."
Oh, you have many pains which need to be taken care of. Pains of both body and mind, yes?
Yes, very
And
much
I
so.
have just what you need. Ah. It is tough to get something good for air breather like yourself. But here, mix this pouch into a glass of water. It will make your pains of mind and body go away.
Sounds interesting. How much?
Oh, for you, very pretty lady, it will only be 5 gold.
All right. It's drugs I'm buying.
This is enough for 3 glasses of very fun times, of making yourself feel good in body and soul.
Thanks. Take it. Give him the gold. Leave.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sticking around drug dealers. Just because I buy drugs doesn't mean I stick around.
Claude?
I am going to go try to find some fun.
Okay. Just choosing someone at random kind of thing that seems to be in the business?
Someone, at least somewhat attractive.
Okay. Sure. Looking for a little decoration, hun?
That's an interesting way to put it.
What she's selling looks to be like little, like, things formed to be like almost like bracelets.
Sure. What do you have?
Everything out in front of you.
And maybe little time in your tent?
Sir, how rude of you to say that. But if you wanted to see the special wares, as she kind of gives you a very stone turn-toned, you'd want to like check out this one here. And I might have some more versions of it in the back.
Ah. It's been a long time for Claude. Give him a break.
New recruit, new to the city. I get it.
Yes.
But it's fine.
Yes, let's see what specials you have back there.
Alright. I will have to show you the different versions. Now, that we do have to negotiate the price ahead of time.
That is fine.
You can go for the simple model of this for 10, or something a little bit more expensive for 20, or I can show you a couple of things that I'm sure your family didn't even know existed for 30.
Today, I think I'll have to stick with the simple.
Alright, 10 gold.
I'll give her 10 gold.
Let me show you my wares. I should lead you to the back tent. Uh-huh. Are you all meeting up again, or are you just, like, leaving Claude? I mean, like, Wintress, you're around and could easily, like, find Carrion. But, like, Claude's in there for a bit. Unless you want to wait for him.
I would have said if you want to head back to the hotel or back to your rooms, I'll be back up with you.
I want to try out my drugs. So.
Out here?
No.
I was
I'm
going
not
to
an idiot.
say.
That's what I mean, is I want to go back and try out my drugs.
Yeah, that's fine. That's what I'm saying. If you guys
It's
want
stuff,
me to meet
it's
back
stuff
with
that's
you, I
made
can.
that you could use it out here if you wanted to. You would probably have to get, like, some kind of container and, like, pour in the sediment, kind of mix it around kind of thing. Because, but...
You can't drink. You're wearing a mask.
Yeah, that's the only problem you have. Like
Yeah, no, that's what I meant. I was like, I want to go back to my room.
Claud
And
and Kaz could use it, but
they're not getting my drugs.
Uh huh.
These are my drugs.
Okay. So you'll head back to the room, and Claude will enjoy his time. Probably, we'll say yes.
Make a performance check.
Not a
Sure.
performance. Make a Constitution check, not a save.
Oh,
check.
yeah.
God damn, I'm rolling horrible tonight.
Yeah, I mean, like,
I have not rolled above. Jeez.
you're going to be treated
A
like
four?
a nubile
No,
youngin who's just come to the big city for a show, kind of thing. Uh huh.
It's probably been about like 100 years or so since Claude has done anything.
Mm-hmm.
Oof, that's a dry spell.
He's been on the run and really doesn't have urges very often.
Mm-hmm. Can you make me a wisdom save, too?
Okay. Please let me have an actual decent... Yay! A decent roll.
Okay. Like, while you're in the middle of all this, you feel some strange, like, urges in you that you, like, don't quite understand what they are, but you don't feel like they're very good ones. You manage to suppress whatever it is. For now.
Good.
Part of you
Out of my head.
kind of thought for a second it'd be really tasty just to tear open her throat.
Yeah, I probably know who that is.
Oh no, not who you're thinking.
Oh.
Oh no.
I have a few ideas who it might be.
You think it matches with the form you're in.
That was one of them.
Yeah. Yep. So.
Whoopsie doopsie, I want to eat.
I'm glad you succeeded on that save.
Yes,
Didn't make us fugitives.
I agree. That was my first decent roll of the night.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God it was for that.
Anyway. And you'll all eventually head back to the place. And we'll worry about what happens with Carrie in a minute after our break. So let's go to our first break. If you did use the restroom, grab a drink, grab a snack, go ahead and do it, and we'll be back in a few minutes to find out what happens to Carrie and continue on now that everybody has gotten their adventures in town for now. So, see you in a second, folks.